Hey, what's up team, and welcome to the 5-minute guide for the Resto Druid. The Resto Druid is a hot-based healer which uses the forces of nature to bloom restorative plants and return life to its allies. It does this through a number of healing over time spells and focuses on stacking them up to provide massive group or single target healing. If you enjoy the idea of doing all of your healing over time and pre-planning for big incoming damage, then the Resto Druid is probably right up your alley. There are two major talent setups for the Resto Druid currently, one for raid and one for dungeons. The dungeon build focuses mostly on single target healing buffs, taking talents like Cenarian Ward and Photosynthesis for the extra fat tank healing, while the raid build focuses more on group healing, taking Incarnation and Flourish to get that spread group healing to be more effective. There is a special case in raids currently where Inner Peace and Spring Blossoms are almost tied, so take whichever of these two you think will help out your raid more. Anyway, let's get into this thing. The Resto Druid's healing revolves largely around its mastery, Harmony, which increases our healing done by a significant amount for each additional healing over time spell that is applied to the target. For me, it's 14.8%, but it will change based on your mastery. This is really important for doing good single target healing, so make sure to keep it in mind when someone's dropping low. The more stuff you have on them, the more healing they'll take. Other than this to keep in mind, we also have Omen of Clarity, which will cause our Life Bloom ticks to have a 4% chance to make our next regrowth free. So make sure you're keeping Life Bloom on the tanks at all times and using this when it procs. Now let's take a few moments to go over each of our abilities and when we want to use them. Firstly, the classic, Rejuvenation. A basic hot that you should aim to have up on any targets that are taking damage and need a little top up. Next, Swift Mend, one of our only tools as a Resto Druid to apply instant on-demand healing and our only heal that doesn't apply a hot. Use this when someone is in immediate danger and needs to be topped up straight away, preferably when they have lots of hots on them. Life Bloom. This is a hot that we can only have on one target, and it should usually be the tank. When it expires or is refreshed below 4.5 seconds, it will apply a burst of healing, so make sure to leave it until it's this low to refresh it. Wild Growth. This is our big high mana cost 6-person hot, which is really strong when everyone is taking damage at once. It will apply a hot to 6 people, which gives quick healing to begin with, diminishing over its duration. Use this when everyone is injured, but be careful of its cost. Regrowth. This is our expensive emergency heal as Resto. It will apply a burst of healing and then leave a hot. Use it to work with the mastery or spam it on people who are going to die, even with all of your hots on them. Finally, for our main heals, we have Efflorescence, which will spawn a circle on the ground, healing 3 people standing within it every 1.8 seconds. Use this whenever there are 3 injured allies grouped up enough to be in the circle. As Resto, we have 2 cooldowns that we should pay attention to. Firstly, Tranquility, which is our big raid cooldown. A channeled fountain of healing, which will heal allies within 40 yards over 7.1 seconds, with each tick applying a hot. Use this when the raid or dungeon group is taking heavy damage, but be sure to apply Wild Growth just before you start the cast to get the maximum benefit from our mastery. And secondly, Innovate, which will cause us or another healer to consume no mana for 12 seconds. When used on yourself, try to get your heavy mana cost spells in the duration, including Efflorescence and Wild Growth. Now that we've covered the abilities, what they do, and when we should be using them, let's go over the general healing strategy for both dungeons and raids. In dungeons, our job is simple. Keep Life Bloom up on the tank 100% of the time, try to keep Efflorescence down when at least 3 people are grouped and taking damage, apply Rejuve to group members that are taking light damage, and cast Wild Growth when the entire group is hurt. Use Clearcasting procs on Regrowth. Once all of that is out, apply Regrowth for the extra hot and the moderate spot healing. Only spam Regrowth when things get very serious. As a hot-based healer, it's okay to let the hots tick and work their magic once they've been applied. And when things start ramping up, keep in mind that the more hots you have out, the more healing you'll be doing to the target. So applying as many things as possible before things get too serious can be a good idea, so that when the danger comes, you're ready to go. In raid, our job becomes a bit more structured. We want to make sure to always have Efflorescence down in the melee, always have Life Bloom up on the active tank, casting Wild Growth when we see that 6 or more allies are injured, using Swift Mend to spot heal and Regrowth as an emergency heal, keeping Rejuvenation up on the tank and players that we know will be taking extended damage, but making sure that we don't use too many as it will drain our mana and we need that for later. We have a special job to do as Resto when the raid is taking big damage, and that is with our Flourish talent. We want to begin casting Rejuves on the raid 10 seconds before the damage hits. As it hits, apply Wild Growth and then hit Flourish. This is our big wombo combo as Resto, and it will cost a lot of mana, but it will do major raid-wide healing. Other than that, Trank when the leader calls for it, or when you see a good opportunity. Anyway team, that has been the Resto Druid, a healer which can be played fairly averagely without much effort, but has a fairly high skill cap in raids, revolving around managing our mana well. If you enjoy the hot style of healing, give it a go. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that sub button and stick around for more team. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.